This video will show the process of making the Colosseum. Since I do not expect for any normal, socially active human being to replicate this process, most of the dimensions are excluded from this video. If you're not among the normal ones, you can always ask for additional information in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to ignore them. After careful planning, collecting images, calculating surface areas, diameters, focus lengths, making 3D model of the Colosseum, after choosing building materials and the right working approach of making the building, we start to make the Colosseum. Since the shape of the building is elliptical, we encounter a number of wonderful problems. The starting point would be to make stairways, which represent seatings. We cut appropriate shapes from cardboard and used them as supports for the seatings. On evenly spaced cardboard supports, we glue paper. This paper will hold plaster in place while we reshape it. Afterwards, we cut a piece of plastic in a stairway shape and use it for smoothing and reshaping of the plastered surface. Now, all we gotta do... We don't have to do anything because this looks like shit and has to be demolished. Off to a bright new start and a different building method. In this approach we will make the stairways out of paperboard. First we draw an ellipse using 2 pivot nails with rope and afterwards we cut it out. Next we use an offset pencil tool to draw an ellipse that is larger than the one before. We cut that ellipse as well. This ellipse will serve as a first seating level. There are 72 seating levels overall, but of course we don't need to cut all those ellipses, one larger than the other. You just cut the first one and then you right click on it and copy paste it to desktop like so. All that's left for us to do is glue all elliptical surfaces on top of each other in randomness order. Making 300 steps is fun work, but gluing them all on the seatings is spectacular. This wall with entrances for the gladiators and animals is painted red at the bottom so it doesn't have to be cleaned often when blood and intestines are splattered all over. These paperboard strips will prevent sand from slipping out from the center of the arena into the abyss. Painting of the arena insides was done poorly, so I please you to repeat my mistake. Instead of painting everything black and then gradually lighten it with white and yellowish, I started with yellowish and then black, and then I had to use yellowish and white for 5 more layers to make it look more bearable. I'm starting to get agitated by this diabolical British accent, so it's time for me to shut up. give credit where credit is due, I should mention I've hired some help for all this shaping, cutting and gluing, since I have more important obligations in my life. Slavery is against the law, so I have peasants that will do the work in exchange for food. And even so, if they are your family members, you can criticize their performance without them holding a grudge.
Now, all that's left to do is introduce the gladiators.
Round 1. Fight!